Let's hear from Janet and Shoshai.
So I'm very happy tonight that Maureen and Shoshai and I have been given time to present a world premiere of Lucid Improvisations. Lucid Improvisations reveal an unknown ability we all have to relate to each other more beautifully, intimately, helpfully, and hopefully than we're used to doing. This ability that we can now bring out of hiding comes from concentrating on seeing, sensing, beholding, and sharing the inner motion pictures that move us. Letting ourselves see and sense these images as they occur to us give us entree into a vast new range of pleasing possibilities. So, as the three of us read and speak, we hope you will simply see what we're saying. Letting seeing and sensing take the lead makes a world of difference. I'm going to read my holiday poem, Cherishing, first to keep Adele and company on their Christmas theme, and then Shoshai is going to read a recapitulation I wrote of the Lucid Improvisations work that Maureen and Shoshai and I enjoyed doing a couple of weeks ago. And that'll give you a sense of how this new medium works. And I call that recapitulation beyond the lone image, because this has everything to do with getting beyond being into ourselves and seeing into each other. So then we'll look into this image again and do Lucid Improvisations live in front of your eyes. Hoping that sometime soon we'll be able to do it together. So, I'll start off with this holiday poem, Cherishing. Standing on Seir Kalichi, which is a kind of chalky ground, in the desert sun, a little girl is holding a baby chick in the palm of her hand. Her mother's nightie slips off her shoulders and laps around her feet as she looks deeply into the warm fluff of silky filaments pulsing with heartbeats floating in her cupped hands. Her daddy, who was then taking a movie of this, stands watch over this scene in her mind's eye now, looking down on his only child beholding this chick. He's aglow with the pride and pleasure of bringing this cherishing moment into being. I like to cherish any moment this way, holding it like a dandelion ball into the light, with such soft lightness that there is no imprisonment in my grip, only the liberating touch of fond support. And I like being cherished with a sleek cloak of pride and true pleasure like my father's, being slipped around my shoulders. Such a feather-like hold on life, as gentle as warm breath and the smile of a sleeping baby, is our sine qua non, without which nothing. Yet where now can wise folk kneel to encircle a glowing child with the protection of such wisdom? Pray you now, see me standing in the desert as a child, holding a baby chick floating in my hands, with my pleased and proud progenitor watching over us. Now, see yourself in my shoes and feel a heart beating in the image, or sense your own heart beating. Let this picture become a doorway opening on the attic where your eyes search the dark until long lost illuminations of such cherishing rise up gleaming in parade within you. Let each scene come to a stand and pour its infusion of cherishing throughout your being. until you feel the full blush of your life force restored to your fingertips. All right, so now Shishai, see where we took that a couple of weeks ago.
And she titled this Beyond the Lone Image.
And I should just say that we were just working with the image at the front end of the poem. So.
Okay. Seeing myself in Janet's shoes, I picture myself standing amidst adobe walls under an intense blue sky on cracked earth. Hearing this, Janet's imagination fills in the adobe surroundings of her childhood and then presents the clearest picture of scattered little round pebbles that dent bare feet. My chest expands and I smile deeply as I feel my father's presence watching over me while seeing myself in Janet's shoes. My pleasure with my father deepens Janet's smile of enjoyment of her father. I laugh gaily as I mimic my father going around snapping pictures from all angles. Janet is glad to see that photographing, which caused strain in her family, brings happiness to mine. Maureen is uncertain at first as to what Janet wants her to do. Janet says to Maureen, "See what I am saying. As I tell you my vision again, then see yourself in my shoes and let your image take off from mine and go its own way." Maureen immediately becomes very aware of the fear in her quivering chick and her desire to protect it and liberate it. She wants to keep holding its silkiness, but sets it down and watches it run around. Janet feels an arc of great joy in the back of her throat when she hears of Maureen liberating her chick. Janet says that while the gentleness in her scene is her forte, a gift from her mother's sweet touch, she often feels imprisoned when it is fragility is not well taken in this bruising world. A fountain of elation spurts up all the way from her abdomen into her chest, and then she starts seeing Maureen's chick running around. She feels open-mouthed with happiness, then sees herself bent over. She's setting her interlaced fingers down on the pebbly ground so her chick can walk out of them. Then she stands intently looking down, intrigued with watching over this little wobbly yellow ball of tilting fluff. Janet feels herself grow into a tall shepherd standing watch over this tiny life, in parallel with her father, while being given a great boost of pride and joy by the power of my, Shishai's, father shining through me, which magnifies her love for her father's pride and joy even more. Maureen says that at first she'd seen herself swimming and communing with octopuses and fish, feeling so privileged that they let her swim with them, accepting her scuba masked self into their school. This brings out Janet's awareness that she also feels privileged to hold the pulsing chick. Then Maureen is reminded of sitting under some lilac bushes as an 8-year-old and being visited by a flock of chickadees who come down surrounding and almost swarming her. Maureen's gestures and enthusiasm as she speaks of this scene fill Janet all of a sudden with the full presence of the chickadees' chattering animation.
All right. So now we're going to go in and do it live, and I'll just recapitulate the image as I saw it first, because this work always works from going back to the starting image that becomes the center point from which all the variations take place. So standing on Seir Kalichi in the desert sun, a little girl is holding a baby chick in the palm of her hands. Her mother's nightie slips off her shoulders and laps round her feet as she looks deeply into this warm fluff of silky filaments pulsing with heartbeat, floating in her cupped hands. Her daddy, who was then taking a movie of this, stands watch over this scene in her mind's eye, looking down on his only child beholding this chick. He's aglow with the pride and pleasure of bringing this cherishing moment into being. So now we're going to take time to look inside and see what happens. So you let me know when you're ready to say something.
Ooh,
are you? All right, okay, let's hear you.
Hearing it over again and being familiar with the with this beautiful scene. and allowing myself to revisit this place of this little child and this authoritative yet loving figure watching, recording, I immediately got the feeling of myself holding this little chick and this life force inside and this life force without the chick of like chi, and cherishing it and feeling it, and the appreciation that I felt coming to me was from my creator, you know, and finding me, you know, proud of me to be finding my energy from within inside myself and liberating her, you know. So that's what I felt tonight, and I felt strength in my legs. She's talking about her body, and my ears kind of tingled, and but that butterfly, fluttery feeling as well, to see that and to be part of that and to associate myself with that. So it was a joy and pleasure.
All right. So as I hear her, then I look into my image again and see how her influences, her image is influencing mine. So I see myself as a child now. She has been more like this and like this, and now she's like this. Just this wonderful, open, joyous energy. And she looks up at Daddy with this great big smile, and there's this wonderful, just open smile in the air between them. And that always means a lot to me, because basically didn't have too much good time with my father. So I'm grateful for the gift that comes to me this way of my father. So that wonderful energy of Maureen's just amplifies something that is very thrilling.
What I see is, I see myself totally involved in this chick. I realize that my father is taking pictures from different angles, you know, and I feel the sun high up in the sky, perfectly blue sky, and I feel the pebbles beneath my feet. I happen to like the feeling of the pebbles beneath my feet. What I like most is the chick, because the chick, how can I say it? The chick is, I'm fascinated by the chick. This little tiny light inside of my hands. I am so much bigger than it. I am so much stronger than it. And yet, it is there. And it's just like me, in a sense, because it has life and I do too. And I just want to love it with all of my being. And this is what I feel. I feel the warmth of the day, I feel the warmth of my father, and I feel the warmth, all this warmth channeling into this chick. And that's what I see.
Wow.
That's my vision.
All right. So I begin to see myself as fairly big, and the chick is just terribly tiny and distant. And I begin to just kind of tighten up with this happening. But then all that sun comes and just starts filling the whole space, and everything warms up, and I relax, and I feel the whole smile of this scene just taking over in a very nice way. Do you see anything further you want to share?
Yeah, we could probably do this all night, but
Yes.
it's striking how what you said really moved me, because my thing turned into night for some reason, with my higher power, so to speak, enveloping me in a very comfortable way. And when Shishai spoke, it was so bright and warm. But what struck me was that this big, strapping, strong man and was held captive by the beauty and the innocence of this little creature, and the power of beauty and innocence can take down a giant. Just struck me.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you.